Now, I focus in a lot of the time on what's going on the business side of entertainment when it comes to, well, pretty much everything, including streaming. Streaming is supposed to be a wildly profitable venture that nobody outside of Netflix has managed to make somewhat profitable. And I don't think you're going to see that anytime in the near future, but you are going to see some radical shifts inside the industry. And of course, during the course of this week, we're going to have multiple stories to talk about the kinds of things that are happening with streaming, such as churn, and also the addition of ad tier to many of these services. That's something that we do want to focus on because I think it will generate a little bit more ARPU for those entities, but I don't think it's going to do what they want it to do. So let's take a look at Disney Plus specifically when it comes to what's happening with their ad tier. Here we go. We don't have to go back very far to find a Deadline article that talks specifically about Disney Plus and their new ad tier. One of the things mentioned in one of the most recent articles from December 5th that was written by Dade Hayes in their advertising section of Deadline was a article titled "Nearly 1 in 4 Disney Plus subscribers in the US will trade down to cheaper ad tier supported tier when it launches." That comes from Kantar Research. Now, interestingly enough, that's not surprising. In fact, the research has been out there for all of these streaming services when it comes to the number of people that'll switch. Although 1 in 4 is probably closer to the 20% number that I'd been hearing for everybody. So it's probably closer to 20% than 25%. It's just easier to sound like nearly 1 in 4. Right? Nearly 25%. But when we move on to what the actual data says, we find that, well, these are customers that are probably on their way out the door anyway because of churn. And we have another story to cover this week about churn. But when this particular thing launched, which is just a few days ago now, you are seeing people in the US stepping down as far as service level. When doing this research, Kantar Research did about a decent chunk of the populace of this particular subscriber service, Disney Plus. They found that, according to their numbers, 23% of Disney Plus subscribers would be bailing out. That was on it was September. It was in September from the 5th through the 24th. That's the dates that they did their survey. And so they basically found that about 46 million of the global tally of 164 million Disney Plus subscribers are here in the US. 46 million. So that's a huge change. That's substantial. 46 million is a giant chunk of what Disney Plus represents. So as people start to step down from a $10.99 a month service level, that the non-ad supported level, to a $7.99 ad supported plan, they're going to now be subjected to ads. Those ads are supposed to boost the ARPU, so people's tolerance will be tested pretty much right away when they step down. You're going to see, I believe, at least 4 advertisements an hour, possibly 6, maybe 8. I think it's going to be a moving target. Now, a lot of this stuff was started under Bob Chapek, but it was originally envisioned by Bob Iger going back all the way to Disney Plus's inception. A lot of these companies knew that this was going to be something they would have to switch to. And Disney thinks that they're even more premium than Netflix because they're actually asking $1 more than what Netflix is asking for their ad-supported tier. One of the other things that Kantar Research found was that Disney was an also-ran streaming service, which essentially they were stacked with other streaming services. Most people who have Disney Plus have other streaming services as well, which is kind of a disadvantage that somebody is going to be in a financial position that they're going to have to figure out which one to keep. And I think that's something that all of these services finally came to realize a few months ago and realized they had to push hard to get their ad tiers out there. This is because churn rate is pretty high. In fact, over at Disney, Kantar found that Disney's churn rate, of the number of people that are canceling their service, was about 9%. In the last quarter, they reduced that to 6%, possibly because they announced the ad tier, because a lot of these people would be stepping back rather than canceling the service outright to a lower level of service. In fact, they suggest or speculate that had the cheaper ad-supported plan existed, the 23% subscribers who said they would trade down, that actual overall churn rate could have been reduced substantially prior to that. And I agree. So the move, according to Deadline, into streaming advertising could open up Disney Plus to new viewers and subscribers who may not have been drawn in when it launched back in November of 2019. Over the last 3 years, Disney has opened the aperture in terms of programming, adding live events like Dancing with the Stars and non-franchise fare like Peter Jackson's multi-part Beatles, the documentary Get Back, which actually had some curse words in it, which I was surprised was on Disney Plus. Now, Kantar survey also found that Disney Plus had an 8% share of total screen time among viewers who regularly watch ad-supported video on demand. So all the AVOD stuff, the fast channels, all of that, they think that they might gain some market share from those folks who are going to be willing to contribute a little bit to have some Disney Plus stuff, just not go full boat with what it would normally cost for a premium subscription. So that's interesting. But you can see, and this is a conversation we've been having here for quite some time, that the growth in the streaming realm is starting to favor offerings that combine ad-free and AVOD or fast services. And I agree with the article's conclusion here that you're starting to see fast show up in more and more people's streaming services, whether on their smart TVs or set-top boxes or whatnot. I believe that there will continue to be giant price increases for all of these streaming services. I think Disney, Netflix, Apple Plus, all of these other entities are going to continue to charge more in an effort to, generate obviously profitable revenue, but also in an effort to maybe drive some people towards an ad-supported tier. I think people who are used to getting the premium tier are going to be harder to retain when they move down to an ad tier, because they just will be like, you know what, this just isn't worth it. Arguably, anybody who's moving from a premium tier to an ad tier probably already thinks the content isn't worth. They don't believe it's worth the price. So how long will it take before they are like, wow, I could just watch ad-based programming for free and step outside of this premium plus ad thing altogether? I suspect that'll probably happen quickly, and I think they're going to have more churn than they are possibly planning for. But hey, what do you think? Do you think that Disney Plus is doing the right thing with their new ad tier and their programming plan? Are you interested in subscribing to Disney Plus or any of these other premium tier services in a stepped down level where you have to consume ads just like you would on a regular linear programming location? Are you just getting rid of all paid for streaming services and going to something like Fast, or just consuming your entertainment on YouTube? I'm genuinely interested. Please utilize the section down below for your commentary, and I'll be happy to get back with you, hopefully sooner rather than later. But any thoughts that you have on this subject matter, just leave down below and we'll get to it. On that note, support other independent creators here on the platform. They absolutely do deserve your support. Again, for the most part, they're free and also ad-supported, just like I am. So if you wouldn't mind, give them the same courtesy you give me. Comment on their videos to drive engagement, hit the like button when you like something, share out the content you think is valuable, and of course, remain subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Everybody wins in that circumstance, and channels like mine continue to grow. With that being said, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.